Now on Denver 7 News at 4. It's one of summer's most entertaining traditions.
Boulder has always been wacky, and this is getting back to the wackiness.
We'll take you along for Tube to Work Day.
A natural disaster forced one community to change their mindset around affordable housing. How they hope this can be a lesson for others in reevaluating zoning laws. And families with ancestors who were once enslaved sometimes have very few clues about that past. The new help they're getting now to piece their stories together.
All right, we're going to begin this broadcast with a live look at I-70. This is just east of Idaho Springs. Pavement's a little bit wet there. Rain's been slowly making its way through the mountains today, now in the foothills. Now, there is a chance that more of us could be getting more of this much needed moisture before too long. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson's keeping an eye on things tonight. Stace?
We do need the moisture, that's for sure. Our temperatures have been around 100 the last couple of days, but you can see the ominous skies out here off to the west from our Westminster cam looking out westward as we have these thunderstorms moving through the hills. So we have from the foothills up to the higher elevations, scattered showers moving through, a lot of lightning with these storms as they're pushing through the area. We also have some heavy batches of rain moving through as well, which is why we have a flash flood watch and warning here up in the higher elevations. So mostly in the burn scar areas, that's where we're most concerned with some of the potential flooding. Now down into southwestern Colorado, also some scattered showers moving through, just few and far between here for the Front Range. Most of the wet weather here off to our west, we're seeing a few cells coming through the central part of the metro, and those will be moving on pretty quickly as we head through the rest of this evening. So a couple more hours where we have that chance for some rain, and then it moves on out. If you're headed to the Rockies game, temperatures in the 80s at 6 p.m., and then we'll be into the 70s as we get later into the game and partly cloudy skies. So definitely clearing as we head through the rest of tonight, but a lot of activities going on this evening. Just be prepared. There may be a few hit and miss scattered showers.
All right, we are duly warned. Thanks, Stacey. We'll check in with you throughout the hour. We have some sad news this afternoon out of Jefferson County. A 4-year-old boy died when a tree fell on him. This happened in Lakewood, roughly on South J Street near Ohio and Harlan about 8 o'clock this morning. The sheriff's office is investigating but says this just appears to be a tragic accident. Well, Summit County is one of the most desired places to visit in Colorado, and the population there can reach 100,000 during peak seasons. But with increases like that come additional challenges for some industries. One of the most glaring issues the county is seeing is a shortage of dispatchers. The county's 911 director says he has half the staff he needs to appropriately serve all the calls that come into dispatch. A full team includes 15 dispatchers and 3 supervisors. He only has 7.
It becomes really stressful. You know, one of the things is, people have to work overtime to cover some of the shifts. Burnout is real, Also, some of the other challenges are because of us being short-staffed, sometimes a dispatcher has to stay, sitting and taking calls until the next shift starts.
So coming up at 6 o'clock, how the housing crisis in Summit County is contributing to that dispatcher shortage. Some Colorado firefighters got a chance to train on how to respond to a large-scale structural collapse. Each of the 10 different departments that are part of the North Area Tech Rescue Team sent firefighters to North Glen to work on techniques for a successful rescue. Trainings like this give firefighters a chance to train on the equipment they rarely get the chance to use. Well, the 2 candidates who requested a recount of the June primary election have less than an hour now to cough up that money. Secretary of State candidate Tina Peters and State Senate candidate Ron Hanks submitted letters to Secretary of State's office yesterday requesting this recount. Now, Peters lost by more than 88,000 votes, Hanks by 56,000 votes. And because the elections were not close at all, an automatic recount was not triggered. So Colorado law says this is on the candidates themselves to pay for this recount. The Secretary of State's office estimates each will cost $236,000. They have until 5 p.m. today to come up with that money. And we checked with their campaign finance records. Neither candidate has anywhere near that amount reported.
When the new suicide prevention hotline number 988 launches tomorrow, there's a particular emphasis on communities of color. There's still a fear, specifically in the Black community, of what will happen if you call 911 and a stigma around getting mental health assistance.
I've always talked about my recovery journey but not the mental health, and really never addressed it, to be honest with you, because, people of color and people of faith, you don't talk about mental health issues. You pray it away.
She says she's now been diagnosed with PTSD. She finally addressed this along with other mental health issues about 7 years ago when 2 police officers responded to her attempted suicide. At the time, her family called 911. She now works with others in crisis and says that she's thankful that there will be another option.
I would encourage, my brothers and sisters who look like me to make that call, that, this system was designed to help all of us. My message is that I want people to know that there's hope, there's help, and 988 is a game changer, and it can get them to the places and spaces that they need to address what caused the crisis in the first place.
When you call 988, you'll be connected with a local crisis center. Your call is confidential. A trained crisis counselor will provide you with support and any resources you may need. The number will be available 24/7. If you or a family member needs help immediately, the number for the current National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. An important note is that will remain active even after 988 launches this weekend. All right, let's turn to the news feed, and it starts with concerns that COVID has stopped millions of children from getting vaccinated. New data out today shows about 25 million have missed shots on diseases like tetanus. That's according to the United Nations, and they say the majority of these children live in developing countries. Today, Brittany Griner's lawyers shared a doctor's note with a Russian court saying that she needs marijuana for medicinal purposes. Griner admitted to having cannabis oil when she was arrested earlier this year. She now faces up to a decade in prison. The New York Attorney General is delaying a deposition of Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr. after the death of their mom. Ivana Trump died yesterday. The AG is looking into Trump family business practices. Rising prices have many of us tapping into our savings that we may have built up earlier in the pandemic. We'll take a look at the impact that this could have on where our economy is headed.
Also ahead, Stacy's going to tell us who out there still could see some rain tonight. And a beloved tradition returns to Boulder Creek. We'll take you for quite a ride right after this break.